Hello and welcome to my channel. This video is titled Why Teslas Are Boring. Alright, I think we're ready. Where's your miles per hour? There it is.
There it is.
Go Tesla. Sufficiently quick. So we're here in a Model 3 dual motor and with my buddy. And we were just talking about why Teslas are boring. So obviously it's not boring, but the conversation was that if you drive around and you are a Honda Civic, you could have one of 1,000 mods to your car, right?
That's right.
But if you have a Tesla, there's really not a lot of flavor between like one Model 3 to the other, because
Other than the color, they're all the same power.
they're the same power. I mean, there's software upgrades, right?
There's like one
okay,
where you go from 4.1 in a 0 to 60 to like 3.7.
right, right,
But other than that, not many people are going to get it.
right. So like if you're in a Civic and you've got let's say you've got a 8th gen SI. So you're in your 8th gen SI, or let's just use RSX because you had an RSX.
Sure.
You had a Type
Yeah.
S. What mods did you have to it? Was it pretty stock?
It was just pretty stock. It was
Okay.
just exhaust and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I mean, like, it would look different. It had a body kit.
It would sound different.
You know, it sounded different. It had like tint. I debadged it, even the back where I even filled in the holes when you took out the emblem and then painted over it. So it was just different. You could see another.
You see another one, and you knew that like he might have something I don't have, or I might have something.
Exactly.
It's the fun of like, let's do a 20 to 70 pull in the interstate, following all laws, not street racing, and let's just see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. So like,
But now I don't get that. I see another Tesla, and I'm like, I feel kind of like, like I feel bland. No, I'm serious. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. I see another Tesla, and I was like, well, I know what would happen. We would be dead even.
right,
Or it's like, oh, it's just another color of mine. There's like only 4 or 5 colors that Tesla gives you, and they're like the colors of the rainbow.
right.
It's like red,
like
white,
red, white, blue, America,
black, silver, and that's
okay.
it.
Okay.
And so if Tesla took over the world like Honda Civics of the world, then it would be a very boring automotive world.
Which is why Teslas are boring.
Yes.
For the
yes.
for the enthusiast.
Yes, very much so. It's fun at the beginning. You like the instantaneous torque, but at the end of the day, you have a Tesla to save money on the gas. The difference between the gas and electric bill.
Right. Yeah.
It's fun inside at the same time. I'm kind of dying inside a little bit.
Right. What would you say, like, so I'm with my buddy here, and if you've watched this channel, I've got some cool fast cars and some cool slow cars. And, but you also have an Audi S3.
Yes.
So what's the difference? And we're not talking like, or promoting illegal street racing in any way. But we're just talking about people that love cars, and you're on the way to work or you're on the way here, and it's fun to have fun sometimes. And if you see another enthusiast, to play around and, hey, let's see, let's do a poll and see what happens, that kind of thing. So how is it different in, let's say, WRX or Type S Acura, or my Fiesta ST or your Audi S3? Like, how is it different in that, getting in those kind of fun excursions versus this car?
So if I'm in the Tesla, I want to be in front of you because I'm getting instantaneous torque, and I'll just leave you, and eventually you may or may not catch up. And if I'm behind you, then I'm limited by how quick your car is at the beginning.
Right.
And
you're
so
gonna pass.
I think about that type of stuff.
And you're gonna pass because, let me just say this, this is a 0 to 60 in what, 4.1?
4.1.
So, but there's no changing of gears, there's zero traction issues, there's no
Nothing.
like launch, you don't have to get a good launch. So
no spin,
when you're right, so when you're competing against an ICE car, an internal combustion engine, gas powered car, they've got to think about traction, they've got to think about where are the RPMs, they've got to think about the launch, and they've got to shift the gears, and they've got to do all that perfectly in order to get what they might have, let's say a 4.1 or a 4.5 or
Yeah.
a 5.5. Versus with this, there's no variables when
No,
it comes to
I
that.
always say Tesla will make an okay driver a good driver. Not a great one, but it's really just you're going in a straight line and it's fun, and you know when you get behind even just the lowest model, the Model 3, you're gonna beat whatever comes up to you.
Right. So, back then to the original thing, does that make it more boring?
No, not until you get around the corners, and then it's like this one. I noticed the difference between tackling a corner at speed versus like my other cars. You know, this one has more body roll. This is just fun straight.
Okay, so last thing before we wrap up. You have an Audi S3 that's,
Yes.
again, and I don't think 0 to 60 is everything because of the
No, it's
variables
not.
I mentioned
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
But it's a data point. It's an objective measurement. It's a variable, or what I'm trying to say is it's objective. It's something that you put car A and car B on a road, and you test and you measure and you get that measurement. So you're comparing apples to apples. You have a Audi S3 that's about the same 0 to 60 as this.
Yes.
In what ways is this more of a driver's experience, and in what way is the Audi a better driver's car lover experience?
This is fun around town. If you're at the light and you just kind of like beat someone to the speed limit. But the Audi is better on the highway, and it just sounds great. It feels great. Yeah.
Do you miss feeling gears shift when you're in the Tesla?
I don't until I get in my Audi.
Ah.
I don't until I get in the Audi, and I hear that wah pop, wah pop, that popping of the gear change,
Right.
and feeling the turbo and hearing the turbo sounds. I don't miss it until I get back into my ICE car.
Do you miss not having the sound of an exhaust?
Again,
Uh-huh.
not until I get back into
All
it.
these questions
Yeah.
are loaded. I love the Tesla, but I will always love gas-powered cars more.
Yes.
Okay, so and creature comforts, the Tesla's amazing. I mean, this is an incredible car. But you said your Audi is more comfortable and just nicer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. The reason why I get into the Tesla more than I do in the Audi is because of the savings. And that is the biggest draw by far, is the savings between gas and electric. And that's why I got the Tesla.
Right.
But if I could have if I could have the savings, I would be in the Audi S3 versus the Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That sums it up. To conclude, our final thing we want to say here, why Teslas are boring in one sentence. What's your answer? The owner of a Tesla for about 10,000 miles now.
Everything's the same. No variance between my Tesla and someone else's Tesla. That's why they're boring.
The passion of owning a Tesla then is about
You're not
novelty.
getting originality. Yes.
It's about the novelty. It's about there's some like Tesla snobbery probably that goes with a lot
There
of Tesla
is.
owners. Is that across the board? No. You can have a pure heart and drive a Tesla, but it's the novelty. It's the instant acceleration. You never have to stop and get gas. You probably never have to change your brakes. All that kind of stuff. Those are non-issues.
Yeah, no maintenance.
Yeah, and there is some prestige and fun about owning a Tesla. People look at you. When you pulled up to pick me up from the tint shop today, people are like, "Oh, is that your Tesla?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm not driving it. So, like, people notice.
That's funny that you say that, because the Tesla could drive itself and pick you
Right,
up.
it could.
Summon
It could.
It's a summon feature.
So, yeah. So that's the but the trade-off, which you'll never get from a gas-powered car, is the customization. I don't want to. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like personal investment.
No originality.
Originality, like custom. Yeah. So there's 3 places that'll kill you. All right. Well, why Teslas are boring. This is an amazing car. I test drove it. I've driven several Teslas, and they're wow. Would I want to own one every day? If I drove as much as you, yes. In the situation I'm at, it's not practical, but they are absolutely amazing. At the same time, they feel like appliances. So yeah, it's a hit and miss. It's a give and take. Pick your poison. Great car. It's been fun driving around town.
Yeah.
Trespassing in this car together. All right, that's it. Later.
Peace.